Wendler 531 squat day deload warm-up program. That is what we're talking about today. So happy Monday. That's squat day. So I was just working on my strength training. Deload week, so easy. Giving my body a break. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the warm-up that I do for the Wendler 531 program, especially for squats, because I had a lot of mobility issues actually getting into a proper squat. I just didn't seem to have the body mechanics to make it work, so for a lot of years I did front squats instead. I've recently added a lot of mobility training in that has helped me hit a proper squat, and now I'm even almost hypermobile, so I go too deep, especially when I'm going heavy, so I have to train myself to stop at the right spot. It's good times. It's a high quality problem to have, and then just through my training, when I start getting really heavy, it's actually not too difficult to stop at that point, which I thought it would be if I got too mobile, so that's good. Anyway, so with the warm-ups, first things first is foam rolling everything. Some people will say do a treadmill warm-up or a bike warm-up or something before that to get your body warm, etc. I've never found that to be necessary, because for me, just rolling around on the ground on a foam roller or on a lacrosse ball or anything like that gets me sweating. Like I get, I've had friends who I've trained who will get through the warm-up and they're like, that's harder than some of my workouts. And it's not that bad, but it's, moving around on the ground, you get warmed up. So I say just go straight for your foam rolling. And some people will say do that after your workout. Personally, I don't see a detriment to it, especially with all the nerdy papers that I've read around SMR, which is self-myofascial release, which is your foam rolling. And your power output is not diminished as it is with stretching. So a lot of people associate stretching and SMR to be the same thing, and they're not. So anyway, first things first, foam rolling, then get your trigger point going with a lacrosse ball. So I like to dig into the QL, so your quadratus lumborum pulls the side of your pelvis, so it'll be the side of your hip. I like to get the hip flexor on the front. It looks like a monkey humping a football, but deal with it. It really helps, to get that, when you get that stretch in for your hip flexor before everything gets going, it's great. So, and then I also like to get the glute medius and glute maximus, and then the glute ham insertion. So that'll be, you'll start by, monkey humping a football, and then roll to your side with the lacrosse ball digging into the hip on the side, and then roll over to your back with the lacrosse ball on your butt. And you find all the points in there that you can. Move your knee up and down as you find those points, and it'll really give you some release in there. Once you've done those, straighten out your leg, like sit up, straighten your leg, and put the lacrosse ball under, like at where your glute shelf would be, and then roll side to side. That'll helps to release a lot of tension. And then test your baby squat. So get into the baby squat posture and just feel around, feel where you're tight. You should also roll out your calves. That'll help to release that angle, because that'll really help with getting deep in your squat. So that's the main thing. Then you're going to be doing a hip flexor stretch, and depending on how tight your hips are, you may do a pigeon, which it's a yoga stretch, but it's like a piriformis stretch, and it helps to get your hips to open up in that when you're squatting down into the bucket. So Yeah, those are my favorites. And then now we want to go into the activation. So when you're working on the Wendler 531 program, on your squat days, you're going to want to activate your glutes as much as possible, as well as like cue your spine, cue everything attached to your spine, and it's literally just waking up all those muscles. So I like to do this with, some people call it a 4-point stance. I call it a bird dog. So you'll be on all fours, and you'll lift one arm and one leg, the opposite leg. So one arm and the opposite leg, pointing as if you're a hunting dog pointing at the duck. So that's why they call it the bird dog. So you want to really kick your heel straight back, and engage the glute. So you want to feel that engage, and you want to point your arm straight ahead. So your torso will be parallel to the ground, and your arm will then be parallel to the ground. So it'll be straight. You'll be pointing straight up as you're supporting yourself, or straight forward as you're supporting yourself. If you have not done this before, if you've not done this exercise before, then you're going to want to do it super slow, and I mean like comically slow, like really, really slow. And the reason is because you're trying to turn on like nerves that may, and get nerves firing in sequence that may not fire together on a regular basis. So like if you've had back pain, these things not firing in sequence could be an issue here. So this is something that I did a lot of. When I do it and when I demo it, I generally demo it probably faster than I should, because I've been doing it for years and years and years. And it's not all about just activating the glute. It's about activating all of those things in sequence, and getting that motion kind of cued in, so that your body knows how to balance torque a lot better, so that it knows how to take force that is not just straight up and down, because in the real world we've got forces that move side to side. Our hips will be a little bit off, just all kinds of things, and we're trying to train all of the erectors and everything that's attached to our pelvis and our spine to fire correctly and to stabilize correctly. So start really slow. Do, I'd say, 10 reps each side. Once you've done it for a while, speed it up. It's fine, because you're already firing that. You've already got those neural pathways kind of set up. But I demoed it to a certification seminar this weekend, and the instructor of that seminar called me out that yeah, he's doing it right, and he's doing it super fast. For any of you who have not done this before, and this is a group of trainers, and so I forget that some of the stuff that is almost second nature to me now is something that took me a long time to learn. So anyway, that's why I wanted to put that caveat in there. So on your squat program with the Wendler 531, the other thing that you're going to want to do as well after your bird dog is I would suggest doing a dead bug, which is lying on your back, all four limbs in the air, and then the same way that you were doing the bird dog with one arm and one leg going straight out, you're going to do the same thing but on the other side. And the trick to this is that you press your back so that the entire back is flat. So your low back is super flat against the ground, right? That is almost hard to do just in that position. So if that's all you can do and you can't do any movement, that is where you start. And this will be an ab exercise. This will be a crazy ab exercise. So you'll keep that flat, and if that is enough, that is where you're at. If you can progress, then start with just one arm going like that, and then back up. And you'll do that slow. And the entire time, you're keeping your low back completely flat against the ground. If you can do that, then you'll continue alternating arms, and to progress further is then to do the legs. So you'll be doing an arm and a leg opposite. So I'll do this arm and I'll do the opposite leg down. Those will be straight, whereas my arm on my other arm will be straight up and my other leg will be straight up. And then I'll go back and then I'll switch, right? So the entire time you're keeping your back straight on this motion. Sorry for the camera moving around. I hope you enjoy the the little roller coaster ride that I'm taking you on. So you'll keep your back completely flat there. Those two are two of the key ones that I like to do before a back squat, in order to really activate the core and really activate the spinal, the erector spinea, and all that. We talked about mobilizing the hips with SMR and trigger point. The other thing that you can do is your fire hydrants, which is in your 4-point stance again. You'll lift your leg to the side, just like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Do a few for each side. And then stir the pot is the last one. So you'll grab a Bosu ball and you'll put your elbows on it and you'll roll them in a circle while keeping your plank as straight as possible. And then you go the other way. And so this is really activating your abs and that core super hard. And these are all key for when you're doing, your Wendler 5-3-1 squat program. This warm-up will really help to activate, really for any squat program that you're doing, any squat work. These are just things that really help to make sure you don't get hurt. And this is coming from a guy who's gotten hurt. So, and I think in Wendler's program, he actually says, the fastest way to progress is just to not get injured. So, check your ego at the door, do your prehab stuff, get your strength work in, do it at 90% because you don't have to freaking rush. You can take some time and you can build, what does he say? It's over a 30-year period, right? This is not get your squat there tomorrow, because the guys who aren't even patient with it, they're going to hurt themselves and they're going to be out of the game quick. So take some perspective on that. It's not like I can't wait 3 months. It's where are you going to be in a year? Think that long term. And if you were just constantly progressing without getting hurt, then that's the way you do it. So yeah, focus on this prehab stuff. Yeah, so I said foam rolling, and I guess I just want to clarify exactly where, right? I say the whole body, and what does that mean? First thing I'm talking about is quads. So each quad individually, 10 aside. Then IT band. Then, so you want to get your adductors as well on the inside. You want to get your glutes. So you'll do that with the lacrosse ball and as well as the foam roller. You'll do calves. You'll do spinal erectors on either side. So don't roll the spine straight on. Roll slightly to one side and then slightly to the other side. And then once you get up to your thoracic, really hug your shoulders, you're cold, hug your shoulders and to stretch out, and then get all of your upper back. You want to get your lats, so you'll just lay on it like you're watching TV, and then roll up and down on your latissimus dorsi, and then go to your pecs. So why would you do your lats and pecs, right? Your lats are attached to your spine. This is another one of those things. You want to really warm up, and activate all of the muscles that you're going to be using, and even the ones that you don't think about, right? People think squats, they're oh, that's just legs. It's legs, it's back, it's pretty much, it's core, it's everything. So warm up each of those things. So with the you're with the SMR, you're also turning those nerves on. You're getting them. It hurts, but it feels better afterwards, and it's activating. So pecs helps you open up, helps you also have more movement in your thoracic spine, and that's where you want to be mobile, not in your lumbar. think that's it for today. So one last drill that I really like to do is the squat to stand, or stand to squat and reach. So you'll bend over in a forward bend. You'll grab your toes or your ankles or your feet, wherever you want, and then you'll pull yourself down into that baby squat position with a super straight and upright back. So you'll pull yourself down into that squat position and then release your feet and pull up one arm at a time, right? Again, taking you on a ride. But as you do that, you want to feel your spine, feel where you're at in the depth of that squat, and then one arm overhead, and then the other arm overhead, and then grab back on each foot, and then stretch into your forward bend, and then back. So you're gonna do that motion of forward bend, grab the feet, sit down into your squat, arms overhead, grab back at the feet, forward bend again. You're gonna do that motion 5 times, and you're ready to go. So the rest of it is just, for me it was deload day, so it's warm up and then repeat the warm up. That's how I've done it. If you download the app or the spreadsheet or something like that, it's just going to be do the warm up for your reps and don't do it again. But I've been doing this so long, there weren't calculators or spreadsheets and all that, and that's how I wrote it in my program, and it's just how I've been doing it. So this is not the program that I've been on this entire time, but it is my go-to and my favorite to get back to. I really think the Wendler 531 program is a great strength program, basic. So I'm actually in the next few weeks, I'm going to experiment with the Wendler 531 full body program. I didn't like it at the time when it came out. I remembered seeing it and being like, I'm not really into this. But just recently I've been looking at it, and I'm kind of curious to see what that would look like. I had done the Mad Cow 5x5 for a while, and I liked the constant squatting, especially because that's what I really needed to work on. And so adding squatting in more often I like, but I also like working out 4 days a week right now, so we'll see what we do. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you're on the Wendler 531 program, let me know how long you've been doing it, what you like about it, if you have any questions about it. And this was the workout update of the day, as well as talking about the squat warm-up that you can give a try. I've got a lot of other warm-up exercises that I do on a regular basis, but those are the key ones that I make sure to get in my squat program. A couple things that I added today were the scorpion, which activates the glute. I can't even really describe this one. You're just gonna have to look this one up. Sorry about that. I'll probably make a video with something on that another time. It's awkward. It really is. So I'll make you an awkward video sometime, I'm sure. But I added that. I added a few other things. I just realized I'm really tired, so I'm going to stop rambling and let you guys get on with your evening or day or whatever you're doing. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a like, give me a comment. This has been Kellen with Unstoppable Fitness, and I will see you on the flip side. So stay strong, stay healthy. Bye.